offered me her hand to shake. She was a tiny little thing, blonde and friendly, and dressed in the most outlandish pink ensemble. It made the doctor's outfit seem subdued by comparison. I took her hand and shook it. "I'm Nurse Grantham. Forgive me, but you don't seem properly dressed, Nurse Grant." "I'm not a nurse," she explained. She faltered at that and looked up at the doctor, who took over the explanation.
"Jo's more of an administrative assistant," he offered. "She helps me with my work and research."
"Research? Oh, you're from a medical school." His clothes suddenly made a lot more sense. So did his manner. If he transferred to us from a teaching position, then that would explain the air of authority and the understanding kindness. Presumably there weren't enough students left to train back home. They'd all be at the front or training at other field hospitals.
"Something like that, yes,"
he replied, exchanging a look with Miss Grant.
"I wonder, are there some patients here that I could talk to? Just to check on how their recovery is going, that sort of thing?"
"Well, of course, Doctor," I said, leading him over to one of the beds nearest the door. "This is Private Campbell. He came to us 2 weeks ago with some very nasty injuries. Surgery went well. He's starting to walk again and generally making very good progress." Private Campbell sat up in bed as we approached. He'd clearly heard some of our conversation from across the ward. He was a sweet boy, barely 20 if he was a day. The beard he'd been growing over 2 weeks of bed rest did nothing to make him seem any more mature. Most of the left side of his body was still bandaged, and he had a patch over his left eye, which, along with the beard, made him look like a boy playing pirates. I liked Campbell for all his childishness. He was chafing at his bed rest, desperate to get back to the front and do his duty. He murmured in his sleep about that sometimes, about needing to do his duty. I didn't watch him sleep often, but when the nights were long and the ward was quiet, I would sometimes find myself looking over at him.
"It's a pleasure to meet you, Private Campbell,"
the doctor said warmly.
"And a good, solid name you have there."
Campbell smiled at this, a little smirk that made him seem even younger.
"Now, let's see,"
the doctor said, taking Campbell's charts from the end of the bed and glancing over them. His eyes widened as he did so.
"Well, Miss Grantham here really wasn't exaggerating about your injuries, was she? I'd say you're very lucky to be here, Private."
"I certainly am, Doctor," Campbell said, winking at me with his good eye as he did. Miss Grant noticed this and glanced across at me, smiling. I tried not to blush. The doctor didn't notice any of this as he was still flicking through Campbell's charts. Then he looked up at Campbell and smiled broadly.
"Just a few questions I want to ask to make sure your memory wasn't affected by the blast."
"It's been 2 weeks, Doctor. I think I'd have noticed," Campbell joked. The doctor shrugged slightly, putting the charts back.
"Yes, well,"
he said,
"it's still better to check these things, and it'll give me an inside view of what goes on here. Now, first things first, are they taking care of you properly?"
"Oh, absolutely," said Campbell, glancing back to me with that smirk of his. "Miracle workers they are, proper angels. No, you'll have no complaints from me."
"Oh, wonderful. I'm very glad to hear that,"
said the doctor.
"Now, where were you injured?"
"Both legs, left side of the chest, left arm and the side of the head," Campbell responded quickly. "I'm hardly likely to forget all that lot, am I?" He indicated the eye patch and the wrappings. The doctor nodded.
"Well, quite,"
he admitted.
"But I was speaking geographically. Where were you when you received these injuries?"
"Well, Ypres, of course," Campbell replied. Miss Grant